So let's talk about Meg. No, not the character from Family Guy. Although I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of jokes out of this, so just give it time. Anyway, for those who don't know what Meg is a novel. It's a horror novel centered around a megalodon. And think Jaws. It has this pretty much the same premise as Jaws when you when you kind of put your mind to it. Although if you make anything with a shark, everyone's going to compare it to Jaws, so there's no escaping that, regardless of size. So this is Meg. Meg is of course, like I said, this is Meg. Why am I repeating myself? So Meg is basically about a man known as Jonas Taylor who he was an oceanographer, and he accidentally releases a megalodon from the deep underwater trenches, and now it's wreaking havoc, and he has to go out and hunt it down and kill it. So, this novel was actually one of the first novels I ever read, period. Yeah, great, great pick there, Zilla, first novel you ever read is about a giant killer shark, and it's horribly mangling animals and people. And this was not meant for kids. Let me tell you, this was not meant for kids. This novel has really stuck with me, and I love the author, Steve Alten. He's done some really good stuff, The Lock, and I've enjoyed some of the sequels of Meg. Although I will admit, like all things, everything's hit and miss. But Meg really stuck out to me as this really great horror suspense type novel, because, you're dealing with a giant you're basically dealing with a 60-foot shark, so how much horror can you get out of it? Well, let me tell you, there's a lot. And this novel, it is going to be made a film, apparently. It's been in development hell, but we'll get to that. This novel does a great way of mixing action and the horror element to it, and really makes you afraid of these things. It really makes your mind going, could these things actually... And the best part is that Alten really gives a logical explanation of the megalodon surviving, and it makes sense of how it comes back. So the megalodon in here has been living in the underwater trench. Well, it and its male. The male is killed by the female, and the male's blood is so warm that it allows it to survive, the female to survive so long that it can actually survive the cold waters of the trench and go into the more temperate waters of the outer surface of it. I know that wasn't the best explanation, but yeah, it makes sense when you think about it, because they actually made sense. They actually said that the megalodon, had it survived the climate change, it would have died anyway, because the water is now so warm that it couldn't sustain its body, and plus there isn't a lot of life, ocean life to survive, sustain an animal that size for so long, especially in this day and age. The most thing you would have to eat is blue whales, and blue whales are kind of hard to find, and it would just completely devastate the ecosystem, which pretty much it does. I really enjoyed this novel. Now, let's talk a bit about the movie. The movie is in development hell. It's been in development hell since 1997, and this movie looks like it might actually get some leeway, but then again, we were supposed to get some leeway because Eli Roth, who most of you guys would know best for directing such things as The Green Inferno. He's been in Inglourious Bastards. He did the movie Knock Knock. This seems like a film that would have been perfect for him, but unfortunately he left the project under creative differences. And the new director, in talks to take over the directing chair, is that dude who did National Treasure. How wonderful. I don't know, the guy's done a lot of, kid movies, but then again, we've seen people do kid movies, remember, the director of Happy Feet, George Miller directed Happy Feet, and all the Mad Max movies. Just wrap your head around that for a second. So, maybe he can do some good horror. There hasn't been a writer-directed, writers or screen writers for anything penned yet, but there is apparently a actor cast for Jonas Taylor, Jason Statham. Yeah. Jason Statham's an actor who I'm like, oh yeah, Jason Statham. I'm more like, oh, Jason Statham. Hi, man. I'm not like wowed that Jason Statham's here and he's playing Jonas Taylor. He doesn't. Jonas Taylor's more like a. He's very much like a more scientific Chief Brody, and Jason Statham doesn't really strike me as a scientific character, as a guy who could play, you know, a guy with a scientific mind. But I will give this that he could probably pull off Taylor's alcoholism and kind of snide behavior. So maybe it can balance out. But yeah, I'm like just because we have a possible director and a possible actor in this film doesn't mean jack shit, because this movie's been in development hell since what? Since the year the book came out in 1997. This has been going back and forth. It's been changing hands. But on the other hand, I will say this, that I think it's that this is the perfect time to bring out Meg. Reason being is because we're having a big resurgence in giant monsters. And yeah, you could argue that the Megalodon isn't, there's no argument. Megalodon isn't really considered a kaiju, but it's a big-ass fish that can kill people. So as long as it's a big animal, I'm pretty sure that, some people are going to lob it in with the kaiju genre. So that's what I like about this, is that we're, thanks to, Godzilla and Kong and Pacific Rim, there's a lot, stuff like Meg can finally get some legs to stand on and actually, possibly come to fruition. Which I hope so, because, again, this is a novel that is very near and dear to my heart, because this was one of the first novels I read, growing up, and it's a very brutal novel, and it's a very well told story, very suspenseful. It's probably one of the best things you'll read with a Megalodon as the main character. Don't read P.S. Don't watch Shark Attack 3 Megalodon unless you really want a good laugh, and even then the laughs are few and far between. But yeah. So this so hopefully, I'm really hoping, finally with a possible director, even though he's done a whole list of movies that I've ranged from meh to bleh, and an actor who I'm just like, okay, it's Jason Statham, that's cool. Hopefully we can finally get something out of this. I'm kind of wondering who, what are the other, who else could they get for this film? And, are you going to, hopefully, we can get some damn good CGI for Meg. And, yeah, I know people are already going to make the, shut up, Meg. So I can actually see, that's going to be like when the first trailer comes out, someone's going to, fan edit it with Meg from Family Guy and put, shut up, Meg. Anyway. And who knows, maybe if this movie does good, maybe we can get the other... there's actually 4 sequels to this book. Yeah, and 2 more on the way, so maybe we can get a whole Meg franchise. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what do you guys think of the if you've ever read the novel, just comment below, let me know, and also, do you think, who would you get to direct the film, and who else do you want to star in the film? And, yeah, obviously the thing's going to be CGI, but maybe we can get some practical effects, at least for the tail and head. I wouldn't mind some, giant animatronics. I mean, we got that for Spinosaurus, but that got phased out, hasn't it? But a guy can dream. Anyway. So once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.